Hello and welcome to the Daily Meal for Monday, the 24th of November 2025. In today's Millwall news, it's time for an update, ladies and gentlemen. An update about MyGuava. Not MyGuava, MyGuava. I don't have a guava. Don't even know what it is. This is a picture of an email that was sent out today to customers of MyGuava in Britain, and it says service termination. We regret to inform you that Guava Pay Limited UK will be discontinuing the services currently provided to you. As a result, your service agreement will be terminated effective 28 November 2025. Please ensure that any outstanding obligations are settled and that you download or request any necessary account information before this date. Yada yada, yada yada. Kind regards, Guava Pay. Now, so you think, well, what does that mean? Maybe it's just, the person who received this email, they're just going to... No, because it says they're discontinuing the services currently provided to you. So it's not like, we're terminating your account. No, they're discontinuing the services that exist that we provide to you. So that's going to stop. And because of that, your service agreement will be terminated effective 28th of November. Now, this is where it gets weird. The next line. Please ensure that any outstanding obligations are settled. What's outstanding obligations? As in, get your money out. They're literally going to liquidate the accounts. The accounts are just going to vanish into thin air. Because the next line is, and that you download or request any necessary account information before this date. So, you're leaving the UK market on the 28th of November, and on the same day, all of the accounts, you're just going to press Control-Alt-Delete, and you're just going to delete them all? That sounds like something like a bona fide business would do, wouldn't it? Doesn't it? This is bizarre. Please ensure that any outstanding obligations are settled, as in, take your money out, because if there's money still there, you ain't going to get it because your account's going to disappear into thin air. It's going to be Thanos. And that you download or request any necessary account information before this date. So here we go again. And they tell you this today on Monday the 24th, and you have until Friday the 28th to do all of this stuff. Now, one of the reasons why their service, got in trouble with the Financial Conduct Authority is that they're just randomly freezing customers' accounts. So the customers can't get their money out. The accounts are frozen. And there's many people that this has happened to. It existed, when this was first announced, when MyGuava first came into, business with Millwall. The first thing I did, I went to Trustpilot, because I didn't know who the fuck MyGuava are. Are they any good? Is anybody complaining about them on the internet? Because that's, the internet exists. It's out there. It's real. And you go to a search engine that isn't Google, because Google's fucking dog shit. And you do a search, and you go Trustpilot. Is this company real? It's an internet company that I've never heard of. Is it real? If it is real, is it a scam? Is this thing a scam? So I went to Trustpilot, and you see all these people complaining about, money that got frozen, money not received, money bounced back to the person that was sending it, all kinds of things. But obviously nobody's perfect. But what you also saw was that they were posting up a load of fake reviews. So they were getting one starred so much that they then paid for a load of botted fake reviews, 5-star, 5-star, 5-star. It's quite clear to see, so that doesn't sound like a bona fide business to me. So I made a video about this before, but here we go. So this is from register.fca.org.uk. This is the Financial Conduct Authority. It's their company register. And here we go. Guava Pay Limited. There hasn't been any update here. Their services were suspended 2 months ago on the 17th of September, and they are still suspended. And you can see here, some activities by this firm may not be protected. And it says restrictions, suspensions. This firm has requirements or restrictions placed on the financial services activities that it can operate. Requirements or restrictions can include suspensions. So you got all the details, their company number, the address that they're operating out of, what they're supposed to be doing, the license that they have, the EMD license, different trading names. They're trading under 6 different trading names. And then we get to, where do we get to it? Where is it? Here we go. Restrictions. So effective since the 17th of September 2025. So that's when it came into effect. Well, let's actually click on this and get the full. So here we go. This hasn't been rescinded. It's still in place. The firm must refrain from carrying on any new business and from accepting any new electronic money from existing customers, whether by way of issuance, top-up, or otherwise, pursuant to its registration as a small authorised electronic money institution under the EMR 2011 Act, whatever, except with the prior written consent of the Financial Conduct Authority. The firm must secure and preserve all records and or information relating to its services from its systems in their original form or in a copy proved to be identical to the source material. So, I don't know if the Financial Conduct Authority, like what's happening with the records on the 28th of November, because it seems they've told the customers, you copy and you download and keep a copy of your account information. Why would they do that? Because at their end, they're going to make it disappear. Why would you put it on the customer to do that? So again, are they not keeping up to number 4 of their suspension agreement? And here we go. The requirements will stay in effect until the FCAs are satisfied that they can be lifted. Well, that's still in place now. The firm's chief executive officer shall provide written confirmation to the FCA by 3 p.m. each Friday, beginning on the first Friday after the effective date, confirming the firm's compliance with these requirements. So there you go. So here's the thing. For Friday. Every Friday. What's happening this Friday? They're cancelling the whole business in the UK. So, and if they if they pull out of the UK, they effectively don't have to follow these rules. They don't have to follow the FCA rules, which is probably why the preservation of records, they're not going to preserve the records. It's up to you to do it. So let's get into this. This is some more interesting stuff. Find and update company information. This is service.gov.uk, otherwise known as Company's House. You can come on here and you can find out about a company. You can find out about a director of a company or whatnot. So the parent company of MyGuava is Guava Pay Limited. And here we go. This is their information here. I've gone to their filing history. So you remember the date that we just said, the date that they were suspended by the FCA, the 17th of September. And if we go here, we can see that on the 18th of September, so the day after they got suspended, they published their accounts for a medium company made up to the end of the year 2024, the end of the calendar year 2024. The day after that, so 2 days after they got suspended, they terminated the appointment of the director Laura McCracken, husband Phil McCracken. They terminated the appointment of, I'm not going to say that word, but it's Nigar, you say it. Yep, that's it. Rustamova. They terminated the appointment of them. I don't know if there's a man or a woman. And then they also terminated on the same day the appointment of the director Stefan Heinrich, and they also on the same day terminated the appointment of the director Mansour Ali. And they appointed on the same day a director, Mr. Orkan Nazarboff, who seems to be a relation of a director who left in February. And this is Elkan Nazarboff, and that's here. So they got rid of 4 directors and they brought in another one. So now, a couple of weeks ago, even more interesting, funny business. So the accounts that they published on the 18th of September, they published an amended version of those accounts. So you can see this here is 25 pages long, this here is 24 pages long. So what happened there? They made the accounts wrong. They weren't up to the quality of British accounts. What's the situation here? I don't know. I could pull it up and show you, but I don't know what I'm looking at. If you are an accountant and you want to go to Company's House, Guava Pay Limited, have a look and tell us, why did they do this? Why did they amend their accounts? Is there money missing? Did someone steal some of the money? I'm obviously not. I don't know what's going on. Allegedly, it could be that a rogue agent within the company just stole some of the money, and that affected the rest of the business, which I think happened before. It's what was that? What was that shop that I think it did go out of business? What was it called? Patisserie Valerie. They had one of their people in the financial department literally just wired out £40 million, or was it 14 or 40? And it just bankrupted the company. They just stole the money, and then they diverted it here, there, and everywhere around the world, and the money's gone. It's like, your money's gone. You can't get it back. It's disappeared into thin air. Maybe that's the situation that's happened here. I don't know. But, if that was the case, would that not have a larger impact on the company itself? I don't know. But this just seems to be, the company that's based in England and Wales. So going to their own website, they've got this is guavapay.com. And they did put up a statement themselves, and you can see this is the day after, the 18th of September. This is the day after. And it's literally just saying, look, we've been suspended by the FCA. You can't do this, you can't do that. Yada, yada, yada. Now, here's the kicker at the end. You may be experiencing an inability to transfer funds temporarily. So that's great. Does that still exist? Because they've literally given you 5 days to get your money out, or it's just going to vanish. Like, what you supposed to do if it's still your account's still frozen? I guess you're screwed. I imagine. And the FCA can't help you because they're leaving the country. Like MyGuava's leaving the country, so unless you're going to call up Interpol and get the UN on them, I don't know what you can do. Where are they based internationally? I don't know. Can you send someone in? I don't know. Take a lawsuit wherever you are. I don't know. But I guess you can't, because you signed up to Guava Pay Limited UK. Guava Pay Limited UK doesn't exist. So you're screwed. And this is the situation with Husky Chocolate. They pulled out of the UK, and Millwall couldn't sue them to get the money that they were owed. They had to go to Sweden and sue them in the Swedish court. And we still don't know what happened with that. Did that go through? Did they settle? I don't know what happened there. But there you go. So, this isn't a new statement. This is dated the 17th of September. So, obviously, a lot of joking and ribbing about the club. About, here we go again, Euro Ferries this, Husky Chocolate that. But I've got to say, fair play to the club. Fair play to Millwall. Fair play to the people that run in Millwall. When this happened, the same day that they were suspended by the FCA, the day before they got the email from MyGuava Pay, they put out this statement on their website telling everyone what was going to happen. Now, why is that fair play? Because MyGuava also work with QPR, Crystal Palace, and Glasgow Rangers. And none of those clubs, as far as I can tell, have told their fans this is happening. Now you say, well, if the fans signed up to the service, they would get an email from MyGuava. Why should the club make a public statement? It's a private contract between two citizens. Yeah. But, the club did this. They didn't have to do this. None of the other clubs have done this. And, obviously people making fun of the club that, that another sponsor that they sign up to has scarpered off, left the country. MyGuava were working with QPR and were working with Crystal Palace before Millwall joined up with them. So they were already working with these other clubs. So you would imagine if there was any problems that they would have spoken to the other clubs and said, is this sponsor, are they okay? Have they paid you? Like, is everything okay? Because, and then they wouldn't have signed up to them. It seemed on the service that, they were a bona fide company. FinTech, financial tech, gee whiz, look at this exciting new way to pay for things. Isn't it great? Not in my opinion. I mean, but, the young people, they love all this shit. And here's another thing as well. With the three London clubs, with us, with Crystal Palace and with QPR, they partnered with MyGuava to issue special cards that are branded with the club colours and stuff and logos to their own fans. And Mill are the only one that have mentioned this. Interestingly, they didn't partner with Glasgow Rangers. With the deal with Glasgow Rangers is they're just sponsoring the back of the shirts. I presume that's because Scottish financial law is different than England and Welsh financial law. They have a different legal system, so maybe they couldn't do that up there. Maybe they had to register separately in Edinburgh or somewhere. But here's the thing. So what does this mean going forward? Now, if they still pay the club, surely we're all fine. How did they pay? Do they pay monthly? Do they pay every quarter? So surely the next payment's going to be on Michaelmas. So we'll see if they pay that. And if they don't, you'd imagine is the logo going to come off the shirts? You can see if we scroll down the logo. The MyGuava's logo is still here. So, but here's the thing. Obviously, MyGuava have pulled out of the UK market. The Championship football is shown all around the world. So there may still be some value. Probably not as much value in terms of the boards around the ground that you can see here. But obviously the front of shirt sponsor, there might still be some value in that, in terms of the Championship games are shown around the world quite a lot. We haven't been selected that much yet so far, but we're at the top of the table. Maybe we're going to be selected more going into the end of the season. So there is still some value there if they still want to pay the money to sponsor the shirts. If they have the money. It seems they do, because they stole it from the customers, but allegedly. So we'll see how we go. But yeah, a lot of people digging the club out. But like I said, none of the other clubs have mentioned it. They just carrying on like nothing's happened. But here we go. This is an update. And if you do have an account with them, if you did sign up just to get the branded card, you need to get your money out if you haven't already, because it seems to be going to vanish into thin air. And if you can't get your money out before, because they won't answer your calls or it's frozen, you've got to take screenshots of all your stuff, and keep it, and then I guess you try and get it after the date with the information that you've kept. So there's that. Now, getting back to the football. Do you remember football? Southwarknews.co.uk. He'll only get better for those minutes. Millwall head coach gives assessment of Al Doughty's first start since August. Alex Neil gave his assessment of Alfie Doughty's first start since mid-August, saying he'll only get better for those minutes. Doughty, 25, signed for the Lions after several successful seasons at Luton Town, recording 8 assists in their sole season in the Premier League from left back. The boyhood Millwall fans started the first 2 games of the campaign, setting up Macaulay Langstaff's winner away at Carrow Road with a well-weighted ball in behind, then going down with a hamstring injury against Middlesbrough. Doughty returned to first-team training 2 months later and played 18 minutes against Queen's Park Rangers, the first game following the October international break. He suffered a slight ankle injury while building out his match fitness with the under-21s, which delayed his full return, but he was deemed fit enough to play 62 minutes against Portsmouth and at the weekend. Doughty started at left wing back as the Lions were heavily beaten 3-1. Alfie had good times, he got on good spots, he's got a great left foot, put a couple of good deliveries in. He'll only get better for those minutes today, for sure. When Doughty was signed, he was envisioned as a player who could play further forward as well as at left wing back. And Neil was asked by News then if that remained a possibility. Oh yeah, I think he can do that, certainly. I felt in the game today, going to a 5 would have helped us and just kept the game in front of us. The disappointing thing, like the first goal for me, is the fact that we concede the first goal despite having 5 behind the ball and a central midfield player. Nobody gets down the line to shut the shot down, and that's why you play 5, to make sure that they don't get behind you enough. But, that was the frustrating of it. He's almost certainly going to be starting a left back on Wednesday, because the other 2 left backs, one's suspended and one's got concussion. They need to get approved to come back. So, there you go. Now, moving on to this, also from southwarknews.co.uk. Millwall head coach explains selection approach ahead of a 2-game week. Well, at the moment, I would imagine you just go around and say, who's fit enough to play? And then about 10 people put their hands up and say, okay, you 10, you're involved. How about you guys? Are you half fit? Okay, you can be on the bench. And that's how it goes. That is how it goes. Alex Neil explained why he started Danny McNamara after Doughty Macaulay Langstaff in Mill's 3-1 loss to Portsmouth on Saturday, saying he wanted to maximise the squad. Neither McNamara or Langstaff had previously started a league game this season, while Doughty's last start came in August. Injuries had hampered all 3. McNamara was out for 10 months with a knee injury that required surgery. Langstaff missed time with a hip issue and a concussion, while Doughty injured his hamstring in just his second appearance for the Lions, ruling him out for 2 months. He then suffered a minor ankle injury issue while building out match fitness with the under-21s. Yeah, we knew that. The trio were all substituted off on the hour mark as the Lions succumbed to a defeat courtesy of long-range strikes by Zach Swanson and Jordan Williams and an own goal by Tristan Kramer. Mihailo Ivanovic scored Mill's consolation. Neil said he started the trio of home fixtures against Swansea, Sheffield Wednesday on Wednesday and Southampton on Saturday in mind. Oh, we've done with Alfie, with Maka, we know we're stretched. We know we've got a free game week coming up. If I didn't play them today, the likelihood is if they do play Wednesday, then they'll miss Saturday. So it's trying to make sure we maximise the squad in terms of what's available and what we've got. It's interesting. Maximise the squad. Not only that, but he did say, so Alex Neil did say previously about how fantastic James Verrilson was, and I think one of the things he said, we have to at times, discourage him from spending money because he wants to spend more money on players. So you do wonder, with the transfer window coming up, is Alex Neil, throwing people in to show everyone, hey, look, I don't think these players are good enough, so we're going to play them. We're going to lose the game. Can we sign some new players? Yeah. Like, playing Langstaff is just weird, He's not playing Kundal. He's not playing RBW. Negley's a bit hit and miss anyway. He's a bit hot and cold. But he didn't start Negley instead of Langstaff. So is he throwing Langstaff in there to say, or maybe Langstaff's moaning at him, so when am I going to play? And he played him. It's like, do you want to watch the game back? That's why you're not fucking playing, because you're fucking dog shit. So we'll see. Mentioned that we didn't sign a right back, and he played Danny McNamara, Harding, and Leonard. Leonard's good, but he keeps getting injured, and he's old anyway. He has to be replaced soon enough. Is it time? Is he sending a message to Steve Gallen? Get a right back in. You do wonder. He's obviously the goal. The goal is to get in the playoffs at the end of the season in May. So if Alex Neil's playing the long game, and he's looking, if they're probably having discussions. They have meetings every week. So if they had a meeting, and they said, well, you've got Danny McNamara back now, or you've got Langstaff, you're not playing him, and he's played him. I was like, well, did you see Steve Gallen? Did you see that? Did you see him? Did you see him play? Maybe we get some other players in. Although, we'll get them in and now get injured. It's always the way. And now we're going to finish with this. The club are doing deals this week. This is from millfc.co.uk. Hopefully not a deal with a fintech fouled company, but digital deals for Millwalls Blue Friday kick-off. Yeah, if you don't have Blue Friday, obviously Black Friday, Thanksgiving is this Friday, and then after that is Black Friday. Black Friday is another thing from America that's come to this country, in that it's like Boxing Day used to be. You used to get all the sales on Boxing Day, but someone's realised, hang on a minute, people buy stuff for Christmas. Why don't we have a sale before Christmas? That would make more sense. We might sell more stuff. So now they have the sale on Black Friday, which is the day after, Thanksgiving, which is always the last Thursday in November. So the last Friday in November is Black Friday, so they have the sale. I think it came to this country via Amazon. So obviously Amazon is an American company. They operate a UK business. And I think they brought it in, and then other people started doing it. And now we have Millwall doing Blue Friday. So they've got different deals each day that they're announcing, I think. I do wonder, are they going to be doing half-season tickets this season? Because you probably want to sell them while we're still at the top of the table. Because there's another few defeats and we'll be sinking down. And, by the time we get to the point where your half-season ticket kicks in after Christmas, we could be down in like 15th, 16th. And then you're not going to sell many. But today's deals are for Millwall Mobile and Millwall TV Plus. Enjoy fantastic deals on Millwall Mobile and Millwall TV Plus as Blue Friday week gets underway between 9 a.m. on Monday the 24th of November, that's today, and midnight on Friday the 28th of November, that's at the end of the week. Millwall Mobile's unlimited deal, asterisk, discount will automatically be applied at checkout. Checkpoint is down £15 per month from 20, so you save £5 per month. Is there a minimum sign up, or is it just? I don't think there is a 12-month minimum. I think it's just rolling. So is the discount gonna just roll over every month until you cancel the phone? That's insane. Or I guess until they increase the price. Or is it just for the first month? That would be interesting. They should probably tell us this, but here we go. This is the kicker. Furthermore, Lions fans can benefit from 35% off a Millwall TV Plus annual subscription. 2 asterisks, usually $59.99, now $38.99. And then you read the asterisk and it says prices on annual subscription only. No code required. The subscription will not auto-renew and cannot be used alongside a 25-26 season ticket discount. So it's for this season, it won't auto-renew. So it's just for the rest of the season. Well, we're 16 games into the season, which is around about 30%, 33% of the season. So you've just pro rata lowered your price. You're literally just taking off the amount you've prorated it and then taken off what's already gone through the season, and you're now selling the rest of the season at the price that it should be if you were doing that. So yeah, but a deal's a deal, a deal's a deal. So yeah, and there you go. What a great deal. And on that note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.